Hello again, I'm Tripp Rogers, and this is Tripp's Take. Well, this weekend I am headed down to Bradenton, down to my sister's, actually in Lakewood Ranch. This weekend, the LPGA Founders Cup will take place at the Bradenton Country Club. And one of the interesting facts about this tournament and this event is it marks the first time that Lexi Thompson, LPGA player, she was an American star for a number of years, will be playing this year after she retired at the end of last year from full-time on the LPGA Tour. She said she was going to play selective tournaments, and she's going to be playing in this tournament. But there was a huge article, it was a big article, I should say, on the Golf Channel website. It really got me thinking. And it was a think piece about the fact there are a large number of LPGA golfers who have given up full-time status for their family. And I thought it's kind of strange because I don't recall hearing that many male golfers give up their tour status and their tour card for their family, spend time with their family. And I thought it was it's interesting because it goes back to, and I thought we were past this, but the male's the breadwinner, the female has got to stay home with the kids. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's fair. And this article talked about what the LPGA golfers went through. Now, something about Lexi Thompson, she had been on the golf tour since she was a teenager. I'm pretty sure 14 or 15. So that was like good 15 years. And she decided she wanted to retire, quote unquote. She actually got engaged this offseason. And she also is launching an athletic wear line, which is great. But the other part of this is she's made a lot of money. And one thing that was pointed out on this article about LPGA golfers is, the LPGA Tour has been around for a long time. And you had some great golfers who were parents and gave birth to kids, and they continued to play. But the difference in the money is unreal, because the number 100 golfer now makes more money than a golfer, let's say 40 years ago, than the number 140 golfer. They talked about the difference in the money being one of the factors that kind of pushes these women to decide, all right, had enough, let's move on and let's try having a family. And again, they don't have to do it right away, but when the kids go to school, it's time for them to start, spending some time. And I understand this. I get this because, when I was married and when Stephanie was young, we had to start, we could do whatever we wanted to the first 4 years, but when school starts, you're in that school calendar and you have a certain time, certain things you can do. And again, it's one of those things that you got to deal with. You have to deal with. And it was a fascinating article. They talked to a number of LPGA golfers. And I just think it's kind of interesting that they're the ones who are still expected to raise the kids. I want to also talk a couple things. First of all, there is a new series. My buddy Phil Yale, he did Phil's Tracks, and I've been on Phil's Tracks a number of times. And we're now doing a series called Trippin' Up Tripp, in which he asks me questions, top 10 lists, that kind of thing. And I have to answer them. I don't have any notes. I have no idea what he's going to do. You can find Trippin' Up Tripp on Spotify. Do a search for it. Also, research Phil's Tracks, because Phil's Tracks is a great show. All right, Super Bowl Sunday is coming up. Who's going to win? Is it the Eagles or the Kansas City Chiefs? Now, I've said on our Fantasy Sultans Sunday radio show, which you can find at noon on Fox Sports New Jersey, Fox Sports Jersey Shore, and foxsportsnewjersey.com, I have said that I'm looking for history. I enjoy history. But I picked the Philadelphia Eagles to be in the Super Bowl back in September. And this is a rematch of 2 Super Bowls ago. And 2 years ago, I said the Eagles are in rarefied air. And it handling the week of the Super Bowl is awfully tough. And I thought that's where they would have some problems. And they only lost the game by 3 points, but still, it was a loss. And when it came down to it, I just felt that I didn't think Nick Sirianni was ready. I didn't think the Eagles were ready. I think Jalen Hurts was ready. Now, again, you have the same two teams. The Kansas City Chiefs come in, and let's face it, this year they have been basically ridiculed because people thought that their team was going to lose. You know, you're going after a three-peat, but they just couldn't believe it. This is the first time, by the way, in the Super Bowl era, a team has had a chance to play for a three-peat, because every time somebody has won 2 consecutive Super Bowls, they've always lost in the conference championship game. Kansas City's first team to get over that hurdle. Now, you can't root against Kansas City because, after all, they have Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid. And again, I have a soft spot in my heart for Andy Reid because I covered him for a number of years when he was in Philadelphia with the Eagles. But the thing I'm going to say about the Eagles is, with Saquon Barkley, I'm a Giants fan. And I know Giants fans are really torn on this because do you really want to root for Saquon? And he left the Giants. But listen, I only have good feelings about Saquon. I think he's a great football player. This Eagle team, boy, I got to tell you something. They're pretty stout. They're pretty good. They really are. Steve Spagnuolo is a great defensive coordinator. He was a great defensive coordinator for the Giants when they won a Super Bowl. Steve Spagnuolo, I think, should get another chance to be head coach. I wanted the Giants to keep him when they didn't a couple of years ago. He served as interim, by the way. So, long story short, I'm going to probably go out on a limb here, and I will do this probably on our Fantasy Sultans podcast and also our radio show. But I'm going to take the Eagles. I'd like to see Philadelphia win. I think they deserve it. But again, as torn as I am, I would like to see history too. But I think I'm going to take the Eagles in this game. Again, I have a soft spot for the team that I covered and went to the Super Bowl with in 2005. I think Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia has the team to beat Kansas City, although I do think it will be a very close game. And again, would I mind seeing history? No, but again, I kind of think it's going to be the Eagles, and it's going to be Fly, Eagles, Fly, and we're going to have to hear that stupid song. I know, grumble, grumble, gripe, gripe. A couple things. Also, if you get a chance to stream, if you have Amazon Prime, Prime Video, you want to check out, you're cordially invited. New movie, it's Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon teaming up. It's a comedy. It's kind of predictable, but it is, it's an okay, it's a decent movie, good couples movie. It just is funny. I mean, it is very funny, but again, Will Ferrell is playing to his character, and Reese Witherspoon is too. Her forte is comedy, and she does a good job. She really does. So recommend that if you want to watch that. Also, we just started watching the show Tracker, which is on CBS. It started last year, limited run series, and it was brought back for this year. And again, it keeps in with these dramas where they have an underlying plot. There's something that keeps everybody tuned in, and you have the episode and you finish it, but that underlying plot keeps rolling along underneath. And like I said, I don't know if I like that idea, but again, Tracker, not a waste of time. You can find it on CBS and also on Paramount Plus. And that is Tripp's Take for February the 6th, 2025. If you have comments or questions, please feel free to email me, trippstake@gmail.com. Fantasy football players, the Hall of Famer Mike Sheck and yours truly, Tripp Rogers, will be out with another edition of the Fantasy Sultans podcast just in time for the Super Bowl. We'll make our picks there too. And our Sunday with the Fantasy Sultans radio show is at noon, again on Fox Sports New Jersey, Fox Sports Jersey Shore. radio stations and foxsportsnewjersey.com. If you like the music of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, how about you give a listen to WTRSradio.com. You can find that with Live365.com. Join me again next week for another edition of Tripp's Take. For now, I'm Tripp Rogers. Thank you very much for joining me, and make it a great one.